I say you were the public defender, correct?
Well, originally I was assigned the case as a public defender. Then I moved into private practice, but I was still doing the case for the county ultimately.
Okay.
And I know that's maybe a little confusing, but I just want to make sure. I'm in private practice now, but I was originally working for the county when I got the case as a public employee, and then I took the case. Then when I kept the case, was ordered on to keep the case, I was being paid by the county for the case.
Okay. I know there were many times when you wanted off of this case. I don't know the reasons to major extent, but and if this is a question that you don't want to answer, you just tell me to my face. That's none of my business. Did Jodi literally give you a hard time? Was that one of the reasons you wanted off the case? Did she want it her way or no way? Or did I'm trying to figure out what happened there, why she wanted to fire you. I know she wanted to fire you, but my question is, did you want off the case before she wanted to fire her team? Because I just felt like nothing was going to satisfy her.
Well, Wanda, let me. I think you're ultimately kind of raising a couple different issues here. But one of the things you'll see when you read my book is I'll talk about the process of me deciding to leave the public defender's office and filing a motion to withdraw with the ultimate idea that I would leave the case behind when I went into private practice. Capital cases, as you might guess, are very intensive. They're very labor intensive. They take a lot of hours. They don't allow anyone to, develop a private practice, build a private practice of clients other than Miss Arias. Ultimately, I mean, I had a few over the course of time, but certainly couldn't have any others when I was in trial. So that ultimately kind of explains that first process. And really, there were, as I said when I was answering some of Jordan's questions, I filed so many motions to withdraw that for me to...
Oh, I do remember.
Yes, and for me to get to the specifics of each one, that's something I'm going to do in my next book, because right now I'm going through the process of watching all the trial footage, seeing things that I didn't see before because I was participating in the trial, and certainly I'll speak to a lot of those specific reasons for specific motions as best I can in my next book.
Well, I'm really looking forward to reading your book, Mr. Nurmi, and I had one more question, and I know we have many callers. On the jury question, was there a question that, I know the attorneys have to go over them, but was there any one particular question that you wish that could have been answered or asked that was not?
Well, that's a good question, and that is one I will think about, because like I say, as I'm going back through the testimony, I obviously hear the juror questions that were read, to the jurors, and I haven't thought about those that weren't read. So I appreciate you putting that thought in my mind, and I apologize I don't have an answer for you tonight.
That's okay.
Maybe I will have an answer down the road, because you got to understand, Wanda, there were so many jury questions and so many witnesses, and ultimately this was the longest trial, as you might guess, of my career. So that's why I need to go back through everything. And I'm going to think about your question when I'm writing my next book. So again, I want to thank you for that question.
Well, thank you, Mr. Nurmi. I I did. I didn't miss a minute of it. And of course, I've got so many more, and I'm looking forward to reading your book. But thank you so much, King, and I love you. You know that. And thank you so much, Mr. Nurmi, for taking my call. It was a pleasure to talk with you tonight.
Well, thank you, Wanda. I really enjoy it, and like I say, I appreciate your question.
And well, you're
Thanks,
very
Wanda.
welcome. And bye-bye, King. And
Bye-bye.
good night, Mr. Nurmi.
Good night, Wanda.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's go out to area code is 270. Please state your name and where you're calling from, and shut your radio and then mute your computer. 270. You're live with Kirk Nurmi.
Hi, my name is Julie Sims.
Say it again.
Julie, Juliesims, Sims, Julie Sims, from Bardwell,
Hi,
Kentucky.
Julie.
Hi.
Hi. Question or thought for Mr. Nurmi?
My question is, if you could do it all over again, would you do it?
What do you mean?
If you could do this case again after all the hoopla and all the craziness, would you still do it? Would you still do it, or would you turn it down and not want to do it? Even though I know that you tried to
well, keep in mind,
get out of it. I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean.
Well, no, I guess I don't understand your question. I was assigned the case as a public defender. We really don't have much choice about what we get. So there was never any. I think that's a misconception out there that your question kind of gives rise to, that I sought out the case. You know, that I was maybe like an attorney that Jordan mentioned earlier that sought out the case so I could be on TV and that sort of thing. No, that was never the case. I was assigned the case as a public defender. I tried to leave the case behind, and when I didn't, I moved forward with fulfilling my obligation in this area.
Correct. Yes, sir. I didn't mean it that way. I knew you had started out as a public defender. But I just didn't know if this was a case. Let's say you had something like this again. Is there something? Is it harder to do? You know, with all the publicity in the media. If you, let's say that you had a case like this again, would you still do it? Because I mean, I know it's hard when you have a family and things like that. And I've always wondered, would you want to do something like this again, or was it too hard on you, physically, mentally? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I know personally, I don't think I could do it.
Well, you know, one of the reasons that I detail in the book is this idea that, you know, in 2011, when I was looking to move on, I was looking to move on from doing capital defense work because, you know, this was before Ms. Arias' case went to trial, and, you know, it's really a matter of what you point out. I kind of discuss in the book, you know, even the shortest trial is 3 months, and, you know, it takes a lot out of you. There's a lot of, you know, I'm sorry to the wife, I can't make it, I got to do this, I got to do that, that sort of thing, right? And the personal strain that people don't think about, you know, is that time after 5 o'clock when you're not home, you know, and for capital attorneys, not just myself, that have kids and soccer games they're missing and things of that nature, you know. So it is a very hard kind of life in terms of career, and it does take a personal toll, and that was something that I was looking to move away from. So I guess maybe the short answer to your question is I hope that I never find myself in a position where I am doing another capital trial again. If a case becomes high profile and I'm probably retained that you know, it's not a murder case, it's something else that catches attention for whatever reason, I'm perfectly fine with that. I will. One thing that I think that I've proven to myself and maybe the world is, you know what? Even though I didn't want the Arias case, I did not back down. I will not back down in the face of anything, whether it's media scrutiny or public scrutiny.
That's excellent. And I want you to say, I just want you to know, I mean, during the case, I could not stand you. But now, after I know your story, I have the utmost respect for you. I think you're fabulous. And I understand you now. Now that I know your story and everything that went on, I think you're great. And I just want you to know I've been praying for you, and I hope that you start feeling better and everything goes well for you in your life. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, and I've been very appreciative. I don't know how many. I think what Julie's referring to is a week or so back, I made an announcement of my non-Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis and how I'm going through that. And a lot of people, there's certainly been some people that are less than respectful in response to that, but so many people have been so supportive and so great. And it's nice to hear that, over person to person over the phone, and instead of over social media or what have you. And since you brought it up, I just wanted to thank everybody with my own voice, so to speak, that have said those supportive and kind words. I appreciate them all, and I'm humbled by them.
Well, you're welcome, and God bless you. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. And Kurt, yes, you did make the announcement a couple weeks back for a couple of reasons. I think you mentioned that you wanted to also to help others, maybe so they don't feel alone, A, and B, just to get it out there. And I'll just share a quick story before you reference my question. My mom beat it, and when I figured out that she had it, I felt like the end was near, and it was more of the worrying and the actual name cancer that scared us more than everything. And when you just listen to the doctors and you do what they say, 9 out of 10 times, if you have the inner strength, no matter what the situation is, I believe you will beat it, and I mean that from my heart.
Thank you, and I congratulate your mother and praise her for her success, and that's true. One of the things that my ultimate reality, and I talk a little bit about in the blog, is that I was feeling great. I had taken some time off after this trial. I was working out hard. I was doing everything and felt great. And then, to go from that to, cancer and hearing those words is devastating. And but at the same time, you're right. Once I got over that and started trying to look at it more logically and really, toughened maybe by the fight that I've been through in the Arias trial, and really realized that, okay, this is 4 months and I can do this, and, I don't really have any other options anyway. And, I chose, even before I was a lawyer, I was competitive in terms of playing sports and playing soccer in particular, and I thought, I'm going to take this on. And when I got the note or the information that I had turned the corner, really paying it forward was important to me, because I want people out there to know, there's statistics, and every minute or every couple minutes someone's getting a diagnosis like this. And it would be, I guess, irresponsible or negligent of me not to come out and say, look, I can do it, you can do it. You get the diagnosis, there's certainly fear, but you're right. You take it on, you take it head on, and cancer can be beat. And, I know that I am right now 2 treatments away from hopefully being done with cancer for the rest of my life. And I want people out there to know that they can get it done. And I'm undergoing through treatments now, but while I have 3-4 days, maybe a week, where the treatments really knock me on my ass. But
that's what I hear. The actual radiation.
Yeah. I'm just doing chemo. I'm just doing chemo, fortunately. But my point is, here I am, 10 days outside of a treatment, talking to you, talking to your listeners, working